Millionaire or billionaire sounds similar, right? But the truth is, they live in two completely different worlds. A millionaire might enjoy a luxury home, a few fancy cars, and financial comfort. But a billionaire, they're operating on another scale, running empires, shaping industries, and in some cases, even influencing nations. So here's the big question. Is it just more money? Or is there something deeper that sets billionaires apart from millionaires? Stick around until the end, because once you understand how billionaires think and move, it could completely change the way you look at wealth. Lifestyle versus legacy. When we think of millionaires, the picture is clear. Beautiful mansions in Los Angeles, luxury cars parked in the driveway, and vacations on the beaches of Miami. And honestly, that's true. A millionaire's money often fuels a lifestyle of comfort, luxury, and financial freedom for themselves and their families. But billionaires, they're playing an entirely different game. For them, lifestyle is just the surface. What truly drives them is legacy. Take Jeff Bezos. Sure, he could buy the largest yacht on Earth, and he has. But that's not the story that defines him. His true legacy is Amazon, a company that reshaped the way the entire world shops and forced every competitor to evolve. Or look at Elon Musk. He could have retired comfortably after selling PayPal, living the rest of his life in luxury. But instead, he pushed forward, betting everything on Tesla and SpaceX, companies that are rewriting the future of transportation and space exploration. That's the real difference. Millionaires live to enjoy today's luxuries. Billionaires build to leave behind tomorrow's history. And here's the question you should ask yourself. Would you rather spend your wealth living the dream or use it to rewrite history? Because that choice is exactly what separates millionaires from billionaires. Spending versus scaling. Here's another key difference between millionaires and billionaires: how they treat money once they have it. Millionaires often see money as something to spend. Maybe they buy a new Ferrari, upgrade to a bigger house in Miami, or splurge on designer brands. And there's nothing wrong with that. After all, they've earned the right to enjoy their wealth. But billionaires, they look at money as fuel. Fuel to scale an idea, a company, or an entire industry. Take Mark Zuckerberg, for example. When Facebook started making serious money, he didn't just cash out and disappear into luxury. Instead, he doubled down, expanding the platform globally, acquiring Instagram and WhatsApp, and turning a small social network into a digital empire. Or think about Warren Buffett. He could have spent his billions on anything, but instead, he scaled through smart investments, compounding wealth over decades until Berkshire Hathaway became one of the most powerful companies in the world. That's the game. Millionaires spend money to live better. Billionaires scale money to build bigger. And as we dig deeper, you'll see this same pattern over and over again. Because the way billionaires think about money isn't just about wealth. It's about building systems that keep multiplying even when they sleep. Comfort versus control. When millionaires reach their goal, they usually aim for comfort. Think gated mansions in Beverly Hills, luxury vacations in Hawaii, or financial freedom to never worry about bills again. Comfort is the reward. And for most people, that's the dream. But billionaires, comfort isn't the finish line. For them, the real goal is control. Control over industries, control over markets, and sometimes even control over how the future unfolds. Take Bill Gates, for example. He didn't stop at making Microsoft successful. He built an ecosystem that put his software on nearly every computer in the world. That's control over an entire era of technology. Or look at Elon Musk again. Sure, he enjoys his wealth, but his true pursuit is control. Control over the future of space exploration, energy, and even transportation here on Earth. That's the gap. Millionaires achieve comfort. Billionaires pursue control. And this difference in mindset doesn't just shape how they live, it shapes how the rest of us live too. Because when billionaires move, industries shift, jobs are created, and sometimes entire economies change direction. And that leads us to the next key difference: how risk is viewed in the world of millionaires versus billionaires. Risk versus reward. For millionaires, risk often means protecting what they've already built. They've worked hard to reach financial freedom, so their investments are usually safer. Real estate in prime neighborhoods, stock portfolios, maybe a chain of local businesses. The goal? Steady returns without losing sleep. But billionaires see risk in a completely different light. To them, risk isn't something to avoid. It's the very tool they use to unlock massive rewards. Take Jeff Bezos. In the 1990s, starting an online bookstore looked crazy. The internet was still new, and most people thought it was a fad. But Bezos took that risk. And today, Amazon isn't just a company. It's one of the pillars of the global economy. Or think about Elon Musk pouring his fortune into rockets that kept failing in the early days of SpaceX. A millionaire might have pulled back to protect their wealth. Musk doubled down, and that risk gave him control over the future of space travel. That's the defining gap. Millionaires manage risk to stay secure. Billionaires embrace risk to change the game. And that's why their wealth doesn't just grow bigger, it grows faster, multiplying in ways that create entirely new industries. Which brings us to the next major difference: growth versus impact. How millionaires expand their wealth compared to how billionaires expand their influence. For millionaires, growth usually means multiplying their net worth. They invest in stocks, expand their businesses, and buy properties in high-value markets. The focus is simple: make their money grow, secure the next generation, and enjoy the returns along the way. But billionaires, their definition of growth stretches far beyond dollars in the bank. For them, it's about impact, creating something so massive that it leaves a permanent mark on the world. Think of Bill Gates. His wealth grew through Microsoft, yes, but his true impact comes from how that software changed the way the entire world works. Every office, every home, every school. Then he turned his focus to philanthropy, using billions to fight disease and improve education. Or consider Steve Jobs. A millionaire might invest in tech stocks for growth. Jobs redefined growth by launching the iPhone, a single product that didn't just add to Apple's value, but changed how billions of people communicate and live their daily lives. That's the shift. Millionaires focus on growing wealth. Billionaires focus on growing influence. And when you chase impact at that scale, the wealth follows automatically, often in numbers the rest of us can't even wrap our heads around. Which leads us to another key difference: influence versus independence. Who really holds the power, and why it matters? Influence versus independence. For many millionaires, money equals independence. It's the freedom to quit a job, travel first class, live where they want, and never worry about bills again. Independence is the ultimate prize. And rightfully so. They've worked hard, built wealth, and now they enjoy the power to make choices on their own terms. But for billionaires, independence is just the starting point. What they're really chasing is influence. It's not about whether they can take a vacation. It's about whether they can shape the future. Take Warren Buffett. His wealth gives him independence, of course, but his influence, that's in the way a single investment decision from him can shift global markets. Or look at Elon Musk. Sure, he could retire tomorrow with independence beyond imagination. Instead, he uses his influence to push governments, industries, and even public opinion toward electric cars and space exploration. That's the line in the sand. Millionaires enjoy freedom. Billionaires redefine what freedom looks like for everyone else. So, when you really step back, the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire isn't about luxury cars, mansions, or yachts. It's about how far their vision goes. Millionaires chase comfort. Billionaires create change. Millionaires enjoy the lifestyle. Billionaires leave behind a legacy. And that's the real question you should ask yourself. Are you building for today or for tomorrow? Because at the end of the day, money can buy comfort, but vision builds empires. If this made you think differently about wealth, make sure to tap that like button and subscribe, because in the next video, we're breaking down the mindset that turns big dreams into billion-dollar empires.